and thank you for joining the midweek edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm your regular host, Ayodele Zubakun. The year is gradually ending, drawing us closer to the 2019 elections, which is now 51 days. 51 days. How set are you for the polls? Today on the program, ahead of the 2019 elections, Buhari warns politicians against name-dropping extortion. Gunmen abduct 2 Catholic priests in Anambra. APC PDP supporters clash at Ilorin Emirates Convention. And later on the show, Okorocha declares to run for 2023 presidency, described himself as the most detribalized Igbo man. I'll be hanging out with Afolabi Akinola, Tony Waji, and Wale Adedayo. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Glad to always have you there. And politics in Nigeria is permeated by patronage. Hence, the propensity of politicians to resort to name-dropping and extortion to curry political favor. Such misdeeds are bound to escalate in the face of impending elections. With the 2019 elections drawing nearer, the presidency has warned political appointees, government officials, and party men against influence peddling for pecuniary gains and other forms of extortion. The senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, Malam Garba Shehu, told newsmen in Abuja that complaints of extortion by name droppers and influence peddlers is already causing embarrassment to the governments. He said using the president's name or that his aides or appointees to extort public amount to corruption and will no longer be tolerated. Gentlemen, what is Malam Shehu Garba telling us here?
Well, from my own perspective, the only person I know that whose name is being used to extort money from the public has been that of the First Lady. I think 1 or 2 people were arrested recently, about 1 billion or something like that. Yeah, I've not heard of anybody being arrested for using Mr. President's name to arrest anybody. But for people like me who are interested in the political side of things, I think it is ironic that aides of the president are talking about using his name to extort money, while in a way his name is being used to promote political parties other than the APC, especially by those who lost out in the APC primaries. I think they should be more concerned about that than, and leave the rest of the police. Criminal these things, the police will normally handle it. And like I pointed out earlier, the police dealt with those who were messing up the First Lady's name. For me, my concern is about those using his name. In a way, directly or indirectly, the number of APC members, it's as if Mr. President approves of what is going on there. You are in one party, you leave APC, using another party to run for office, you're messing up the ruling party. It's like you have the endorsement of the president. That should not be acceptable to any political leader. And that's my take on that.
Afolabi?
This is a very, of course, I will not be surprised that things like this will be happening at the moment. I also know that apart from this, there's what we call corporate extortion. There is extortion that is centered around the owners of the means of productions, the MDs of various companies whose government have license to even operate. There are some companies that can't survive without the license of the federal government. These are big shots. There are extortions that are professional, that centers around these powerful individuals, all in the name of favor from the Mr. President. So I think it's very unprofessional, in my understanding. Again, with the recent campaign, of course, against anti-corruption in Nigeria, vote buying and all that, this dimension is not very democratic. And again, I think government must do everything needful to ensure that such perpetrators are also brought to book. But this even if it has to be brought to, book in the first instance, it has to be very clever and professional, because corporate extortion is even bigger than individual extortion. There are companies, there are individuals that cannot survive without government backing to ensure that at least their business moves. So, and these individuals, one way or the other, in most cases, do always fight the government of the day. The masses says that the state is an instrument of the ruling class. There are cabals, there are few individuals. In most cases, they are always the owners of the means of production. They don't always fight against the government of the day. So, and people knows them. So,
Tony.
Yeah. For Garba to issue a statement, yesterday from the Blues, presupposes that there is tension, there is something going on. About 3 weeks ago, when one lady, Amina Mohammed, was paraded by DSS on the allegation that she was using the name of the wife of the president to dupe unsuspecting victims. And then I recall the one that happened before, the allegation leveled against the ADC to the wife of the president. These are associates, these are close aides, to the office of the president. And this happened, let's say, about a month plus. So, and then this coming, because I've read the statement and I'm trying to connect the dots. I couldn't. So maybe there's something on the ground that the presidency is not telling us yet. But I believe as the day goes by, all these issues will definitely unravel. But then, moving away from that, I think it goes beyond mere warnings. I remember the media show, by the DSS of that particular lady, Amina Mohammed, on TV. And as we speak now, I don't know what is going, I mean, to what extent has the security agencies taken that case? Because it's not about showing the person to the public and you let the person go. It will keep happening. And she mentioned some names. So it goes beyond mere warning. People need to see how these people are, are dealt with judicial. I mean, through the law court. But I mean, I don't know what is going on, but I know something definitely is going on. As we approach the election, we know what politicians can do. We know what politicians can do. But for me, I don't think it has issuing that statement makes any sense, at least in the interim.
Wale, when you look at this kind of statement, as in dropping name, extortion, that means some people can outrightly actually say they work in the presidency or have contact there, want to give you contracts, the way it happens in Nigeria, and some people will fall prey.
No, it's normal. To me, I don't think there's any big deal to it. That's why I agree with him. I mean, I mentioned it earlier. There's no big deal issuing statements about that. Those who have been caught, you deal with them appropriately. It's not the presidency that will deal with them. It's a law enforcement agency thing. And immediately they've been arrested, you charge them in court. And in fact, the best way to deal with such things is that the whole process should be made transparent. The day you charge them in court, let the media know. The day they are convicted, let the media know. I mean, everybody will report it. Yeah. And if there are others still going on there, because it's not something that the president has no business with it. In fact, for me, it's even embarrassing that the presidency is issuing a statement on something like that. It shows some kind of weakness. It shows some kind of desperation. It shows that somebody or some people somewhere are not in control of the situation of the presidency. It's so embarrassing. It's not something that should have come out of the presidency. It's not done. It's normal now. People use other people's name. Among the media.
Truly, something is not something you issue a statement. We are talking about the presidency.
You don't do it.
It's an environment. Somebody's in charge. It's about calling a meeting. Nobody will know. That these are things we are noticing.
Sending a message.
Because outsiders don't come. We can't not walk into the villa without being known. It's not possible.
But I think
we're not talking about the street of Abuja. We are talking about the presidential villa.
We have to understand the perspective of Garba Shehu in this instance. He knows that for now, to a great extent, President Muhammadu Buhari is a sellable name. You can't extort business-wise. You can't extort on a product you know that is not marketable in the first instance. So the people that will be engaging in this kind of, extortion are also people that are very closer to the president. There are people that works one way or the other with them.
Yeah. They have a link with people that works with the president.
So you can't easily even exhaust when you are not even a member of the cabal.
Yes.
It because you don't have a product in the market.
This cabal thing, they are not spirits.
They are not spirits, they are human beings, but they have powerful connections. Yeah. And by the time they
powerful
know that...
than the president?
Yes, by the time they know that if they mention one or two names, it will even be embarrassing to the presidency.
No,
they will kill...
The president said it yesterday that
they are causing tension.
Can anybody come out with any quietly, decision it took to indicate that those people are in charge?
No, you see, like I said earlier, if you want to stop it, it's a deed. You need to show. It's not a question of issuing. You can issue 1,000 statements, the same thing will still happen. But by the time you start showing what happened to those who are doing such things, others will stop now. Yeah, but when you start talking like that, it's like what Yorubas call Bajare, something is, it's like you are not in charge. It's like you are, exactly. Yeah. God bless you. It's like you are not in charge. You need to be in charge. You need to show that you are in charge.
The issue is that you can be in charge, even if you are not clever. Somebody can still play.
See, this is not the first time. What I'm trying to say is this is not the first time we have issues like. Definitely, if you're a governor today, hangers on. In this country, we sing people because you're a governor. I'm a friend to your friend. I have a complimentary card. Friend of the government. We see so we have issues. But if you know your job, based on these statistics, issues before you get into office, it exists. How do you curtail it? You are the governor. You are the president. And you have a lot of food soldiers. And you should be able to. To an extent, not that you call it completely.
I even mentioned corporate extortion the other time. When I say the word corporate, in most cases, it centers around business. There are people who need, contract one way or the other, favor from the government in the first instance.
Yes.
And if you need favor from the government, you can go to any length.
Yes.
It's only when you don't have favor, monetary favor, to gain in anything that won't be less bothered. But when you know that at the end of the day, something fantastic will come out, my brother, any joker is sellable.
Yes, we understand your point. I think we have to... Gabasho issuing a statement for that, on that issue, to me, makes no sense.
Okay, moving on now. Murder in the Cathedral is an 18th century verse drama by the American writer T.S. Eliot on the assassination of an archbishop in a cathedral in 1170. Such sacrilege persists in modern society somewhere in Anambra State, southeast Nigeria. Unknown gunmen abducted 2 Catholic priests attached to St. Teresa's Church, Umueze, Anambra. Now, the clergymen were kidnapped at Neyi Umeri area of the state on their way from Onitsha on Monday. Police spokesman in the state, Aruna Mohammed, said security men are working to rescue the victims. Gentlemen, what is this again? Let me quickly take this breather. Let's take this break. When we come back, we'll discuss this. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Tony,
yes.
Anambra State again. I can't forget what's the name of that town where there was a drug war?
Yeah, in Anambra, yeah.
It's the same
2 Christmas away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The same Anambra. Yes. So, kidnapping again?
I'm scared to say that kidnapping appears to, has come to stay. It's painful. What if you watch it critically, that's my fear. It's like it has come to stay. It's like government is now helpless. People quietly pay for ransom. A lot of people who traveled for this Christmas traveled with security men, paid policemen, armed, to go to the villa to go and celebrate Christmas. It wasn't like this some years ago. For you to go home now, to travel for Christmas, you have to watch where you go. It's scary. And it's always happening like this period, this Yuletide period. That's when you have issues. Everybody's being careful. You want to travel, you watch your movement and all that. So with what's happening in Anambra, it's not new. We've had cases of priests I mean, outside that region, being kidnapped by gunmen. We say gunmen, maybe kidnappers. The police have not come out to say it's not a detailed investigation. There's no detailed investigation yet. So, for me, I think it's more of kidnapping. It's happening there on a regular basis, unreported to the police. Because you report to the police, they tell you, don't worry, we are doing our own investigation. And the days tick by. So what families do, they do their own discreet, communication with these people. And at the end of the day, they get their bill. So it's been happening all over. What I want the Nigerian police to do right now is to maybe change their strategy of dealing with this issue. It's scary because you don't know who is next. Even in Lagos here, it's not about the Catholic priest. It's because they are priests. That's why it's catching the headline. It happens every day. It happens. It could be anybody, and that's my fear. Something needs to be done. Nigerians shouldn't live in fear. It should not be like this. It wasn't like this some years ago. So what is going on? When are we going to come out? What's the security agencies doing? If the police is helpless, can other security agencies please come in and see how we can get this thing sorted?
Okay.
I think I've raised this severally on this program that the crimes and kidnapping and all that in Nigeria is becoming more sophisticated. Because when any business becomes fantastically fantastic in terms of monetary reward, people get well equipped and prepare for it. I think there is this scriptural saying that says, touch not my anointed and do my prophet no harm. So I'm wondering when as a priest now become an endangered species in the marketplace of kidnapping. I think to me the Nigerian security agencies must invest heavily on intelligence reports, intelligence strategy. Most wars in life are won by the proper application, the proper arsenal of intelligence, surveillance, especially when around this time, because these are the time that people are supposed to travel en mass, and let me say heavily. By statistics, people travel often, more in this kind of period we have. So my perspective of this is the Nigerian media, there is no way we can cover in fact, the perception of international media to security in Nigeria is extremely alarming. It is becoming, in fact, this thing, in most cases, it snowballs to the concept of investment. How do you have foreign investment when security of lives and property cannot be guaranteed in that country? It's an issue. It's not, because the way we look at it might even be, we might look at it as a local issue. It's becoming more of global concern that Nigeria is becoming a place where ordinary citizens in the country are no longer safe. How do you want foreign investment? Because for every action, you must be looking at the economic dimension of it. The economic implication of any action is very important. So the security apparatus, if there's anything they can do, if they need foreign training, let them give it to them. Then we need to be more sophisticated, and we must allow technology to drive our security system.
The root cause of
as
this
far as
whole
tracking
thing,
is
some
concerned,
people will tell you that you can narrow it down to just poverty.
No, I'll even disagree with a few statements they've made so far. For me, I mean, you know me, I always criticize the security people. But in the case of the Southeast, you have to give it to the security agencies. They've done very well. They've done very, very well. A few years back, I mean, it's not just a question of festive season.
It became so embarrassing at
not just the police.
That the IG had to
there was a combined effort. Police, SSS, and the military. They moved into that place. I'm aware that the military intelligence sent some of their teams, even from outside the Southeast, to that place to contain this scourge. But I think, like in everything Nigerian, it's a question of maintenance. You know, trying to maintain the level of security to sustain it. Yes, sustenance is the actual word. To sustain the level of success they've achieved there is a problem right now, and it's coming on the heels of what is happening in Zamfara and the other places. And towards election, it's making the whole thing look bad. But by and large, there's serious loss of.
I have a long distance call here. Ugo is calling us from Spain. Where in Spain are you calling us from? Madrid?
No, I'm calling from Valencia.
Sorry?
I'm calling from Valencia.
Okay, Valencia. All right. Please go ahead with your contribution, Ugo.
Yeah, please. Gentlemen, I do appreciate your contributions, but what I'm trying to say is this. All what you people are saying, does the government listen?
Yes, they do, Ugo. Trust me on that. Hello, Ugo.
Yeah, is the individual listening?
Yes,
Look at
they do.
the problem we have in Nigeria is the politician. Yes, I'm hearing you.
You should go on.
Go ahead.
Okay? You see, by the time they are seeking for a political office, they will go and hire all the young idle men and give them gun. You see?
I think because of the signal.
By the time they could not fulfill the agreement they reached with them, it is impossible for them to retrieve the gun from them.
Okay.
So what needs to be done by, especially the federal government? Because you say the governor is the chief security officer, you say, but in reality, that is neither here nor there. It is still the center that still has to assist, but also definitely in conjunction with the state government, is to go back to the drawing board, what they did before. I mean, we bring the thing up again. Whoever has slowed down, because I'm aware of transfers here and there too. Are there officers who have been moved out of that place? Are there people who don't understand the terrain well, who don't know what to do and things like that? And this brings back to the question of state police. Because by the time you are moving people here and there, somebody who's just settling down, you moved the guy who knows about the place well, you moved the guy out, and there's a new person on ground. Or maybe the team doing that job at that time. I mean, they've been taken to, maybe some of the soldiers have been sent to Boko Haram and so on. Maybe soldiers are not even on ground anymore, or new ones are there. Those who have an idea of what they did at that time, they are no longer
taking them out
there. So it's just a question of going back to the drawing board, because they did very well there before in containing the scourge of kidnapping.
But I think I will respond to the call this gentleman has just made now. When there's this saying that an idle mind is a devil's workshop. In advanced countries, I think guns are legalized in advanced countries. But I think in the part of the country we are, I'm not convinced that gun is being legalized by government for anybody to handle. But in the situation, because now the level of arms and ammunition
in
the system presently,
illegally
in the hands of those people that are not authorized to hold a gun, is terrible. And again, when somebody who's holding a gun is hungry, is the most dangerous person I've ever imagined in my life. So, like what he has said, but again, the level of poverty is another thing entirely. When you have somebody, in most cases when you have something to do with your career in life, you'll be conscious of dignity and name. It is very difficult for anybody to even say, okay, go and do something terrible. You won't want to do it for somebody that knows what he or she is doing. But when you have a country where hopes are lost and you have access to guns, which means you can earn respect before anybody when you attack. So the Nigerian Security Agency has to probably mop up. And again, I will raise a valid point, which I don't know whether anybody will support. The security vote of state governors. Let them channel all these resources to something creative. The state governors has a role to play in this. Because I'm aware they have security vote on monthly basis. When you say the word security vote is tagged towards something, you are the chief executive officer of a state.
A lot of journalists are making mistakes with that. Security vote is not meant for security. I've been in government before.
No, I know. It's meant for the security vote is meant for.
It's not meant for the kind of security you're talking about.
No, we need to. We need to educate Nigerians.
Making a mistake about security vote. It's wrong.
Let me, because we want to be educated.
No, when you're talking about security vote, a lot of people believe it's money for the police, money for the soldiers, money for this. No, that's wrong.
Okay, what is it for?
Somebody visits, for God's sake, we are Africans, we are Nigerians. Somebody comes to visit the governor now, or there's something the governor needs to do for some people without the thing being documented. Because there are some people that things to be documented that, it becomes embarrassing. Like I know my first class over comes to visit the governor now. Will he go back empty-handed? don't go back empty-handed now. Like something happened somewhere now, and you need to, beyond using the police, are you aware that in some places where there are crises, serious crisis, it goes beyond the police, armies, and so on to bring them to order? You need to take care of some people here and there. Look, oh, your things have been destroyed, this have been... That will not come out immediately out of some job.
To me, that is even corruption.
It's not corruption, no.
If security votes, no, if security votes...
Gentlemen,
you don't understand.
have the floor. Victor is calling us from Kaduna. Thank you for joining us, Victor.
Yes, good day, gentlemen.
Compliments.
Well, I can listen to your conversation there. It's unfortunately that what is going on in this our country is getting beyond measure. My own advice for me is that the country, the government should put adequate security all over. Especially this time of, are you with me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. At this time of election that is coming on, honestly, it's becoming unpredictable. Killing everywhere, killing every day. So government should do something tangible to put the measure of security. Security. You can see the kind of money they are spending for security. We didn't see the outcome, especially in this present government. So we didn't understand. So let them do acquire proper security.
Thank you, Victor. Thank you for your contribution.
Yes.
The caller from Madrid, Spain said another thing that, is quite right, that politicians tend to arm these boys, and after they get to office, it will be difficult to mop up those arms, and that is why we have the proliferation.
That's a 50-50 thing. Don't forget that this administration, the IG a few months back sent out a directive in Nigeria as at today. A lot of the arms inside, yeah, you can say they are illegal, but there are a lot of people who have licenses for their guns, especially pump-action rifles.
Well, at times, police even come to tell you that pump action is not,
No, wait. The pump-action rifles, from our own police sources, the automatic ones have been banned. Even if you have a license for it, you have to return it to the police. It's only the manual one that you could hold. And meanwhile, don't forget that a lot of these guys who have the so-called pump action, not all of them have licenses. Only a few of them have. Even those of them who have, most of the time, you can't see them bringing it out with their license. Because, what kind of job do you do? That you say you have license for gun. Who are you? Before you get a license for a gun, you must be credible somebody without shady past or whatever. You understand? So that one is even besides the point. You can ban as many guns as you want. But the major thing there is one of the things he pointed out, people without jobs and so on. Politicians in a third world country will normally want to use thuggery and so on. That's because the thing is for those who are in charge of security, those who are in charge of governance, to do what they are supposed to do. There are some things you can't just stop by fiat. You want the governor to go on air and say, oh, stop being talks to anybody, or a pastor to come up and say, stop being talks to anybody. Is that going to solve their problem? It will continue now.
All right. When we return, APC PDP supporters clash at Ilorin Emirate Convention. Stay with us. Welcome back. This is Journalist Hangout. The intense political rivalry playing out between the All Progressive Congress, APC, and the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in Kwara State appears to be spilling over into other aspects of life in the state. Now, confusion reigned supreme in Ilorin on Tuesday when supporters of the APC and PDP disrupted this year's annual general meeting of Ilorin Emirate Descendants Progressive Union, the umbrella body of sons and daughters of the town. Trouble began when APC governorship candidate in the state, Abdurrahman Abdulrazak, was making his way to the podium to deliver his address. A shouting match between supporters of the parties that ensued and degenerated into a frenzy and uproar, abruptly bringing the program to an end. Kwara politics dynamic right now. It used to be, a predominantly PDP stronghold, as in from AMP, the days of AMP.
PDP Saraki,
just the Saraki dynasty. And so when you're talking about Ilorin, Laurie, we are talking about the Sarakis and everything. Right now, there's a kind of attempt by the APC to try to upset the status quo. How possible that will be, I don't know. But if you remember, there was one House of Rep.
The by-election.
Although a lot of complaints came that it was highly militarized and everything. But then, APC emerged in that by-election House of Rep. Is that a sign of things to come? Okay, let me see.
Yeah, for me, I know it's going to be a war.
War?
Yes.
Tony.
War. I mean, not that kind of war, you know what I'm saying, literally speaking. Politically, since Oshomole came, it's been the issue, because it's good to paint how this whole thing started. Assumption of Saraki as the Senate presidency, Oshomole's emergence as APC chairman, the promise that Saraki must come down, the promise that they're going to invade the Saraki dynasty in Kwara, we go down. And we know the messages sent to Kwara. The Minister of Information, being the eyes of the presidency, sent to the state. And then the by-election that happened recently, APC won the election. And then this 2019 election is coming. All these issues we're talking about, you know, you can't take it without putting 2019 election, without factoring it in. It all borders on what's going to happen between now. That's why I said war, literally speaking. So the issue is this. Go to Kwara, capture. We are going to take Kwara from the Sarakis. So whatever it takes, go to Kwara. The federal government, it's a fact. Oshomola has boasted many times, this is what you're going to do. And so you don't expect the Sarakis to sit down, the Saraki and his own team to sit down and watch. So it's going to be a fight, because it's not going to be easy. Well, let's just admit it. It's not going to be easy, no matter the political leaning we all, kind of align with. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be an easy fight between the Sarakis and the federal government. And being federal might definitely is going to be used to change the calculation. But then at the end of the day, 2019, we're talking about just about 2 months from now, we're determined. But then it's going to be rough, just as we're seeing. What happened yesterday is just a pointer to what will happen in 2000. It's not going to be easy. So more we should expect.
I think to me, presently, certain individuals must sign peace accord in Kwara State.
It's not about peace accord.
No, I have my reasons. Certain individuals must sign peace accord. That is to establish my point first. But I think, again, it's going to be easy in my own perspective, and I will tell you why. In political science, sovereignty belongs to the masses.
To the people, yeah.
To the people.
I guess.
To the people. The question I have for Kwara State is this. Look at the statistics of dividend of democracy in your state. Use it to vote. At the end of, because if two elephants are fighting, the grass will always soft. Look, don't experiment your life in defense of anybody, but you should do the needful in defense of posterity and democracy. Vote based on issues, not on sentiment, because you need to understand that in that state, certain dynasty has been in charge for years, but I don't even have any issues with that. The issue I have is dividends of democracy in Kwara State. Put it in juxtaposition. Then the electorate has a choice to make. You need to defend democracy, and you also need to defend your life, because most of these people that we are talking about, none of their children are in Nigeria. None of their children are even in the political scene. So don't experiment your life. Your life is much more important than that of your children. The masses will make it easy if they believe that sovereignty belongs to them.
What do you make of this situation?
I think the major thing is that, for me, the APC has made another statement with what happened there at the Ilorin event. Because like the House of Reps election, it's about the first time that a party that has always lost election in that part of the country won election. And in the past, there's nowhere the Sarakis will pitch their tent. The Emir of Ilorin and all those who control things there, that is where they will always, for the Emir to leave, for that event not to be able to hold, that they were not able to cow the APC loyalists there, I mean, speaks volumes.
Yes.
I mean, it shows that it seems as if there's a match for the Saraki dynasty. If it had been before, I mean, for God's sake, a lot of them would have been beaten up and they will have run out of the hall. It shows that there's some people with clout too who are on ground. And beyond that, it's also the fact that because you were mentioning Oshomole and things like that.
The party mostly.
Yes, I have no doubt in my mind. One is not God, but I have no doubt in my mind that directly or indirectly, the Saraki dynasty will be eased out of Kwara State in 2019. And contrary to the position that there will be war, there will be crisis, I doubt it. See, from my own little experience...
You just pointed out the tension yesterday.
I understand.
Yeah.
From my own little experience about this country, once some things have been decided there, where the actions will take place, like you rightly said, that the power belongs to the people, those who vote, security will be perfect on that day to the extent that those who are going to cause problems, they won't even be around. Because those of them who have not been picked up, they will have run outside of the town. They won't be there. There are some states, to me, that will be targeted like that. Because Kwara definitely is number one in Nigeria. Before, it's supposed to be Rivers. Okay. Because of all this something.
If elected,
Let's pray.
The tone from Rivers.
Let me take you back to the video so that you get to see what actually happened.
APC candidate was called, and the PDP people, we so much believe that they were mobilized there, sitting down there, and they started shouting their leader's name, their candidate's name. We didn't say a word. I think no APC member withstood so low to do that. They already concede defeat.
I want to categorically say that PDP was never involved in that dastardly, gangsterism that was displayed by some people from the opposition party. We wouldn't have done that. It's not part of our culture. It's not part of our culture in Ilorin, in the Emirates, and even in Kwara State. And as leader that love peace, that cherishes harmony, that cherishes peaceful coexistence.
They should be peaceful, and they should allow Allah to determine who wins, because only God that gives power. Even if you rig it, God is going to take it away from you. So what is important is that we urge in our electorate, people in the town, to put the interest of Ilorin in front. We have what we call Ilorin project. Ilorin project means have in mind that Ilorin is Ilorin. We are not where we are by accident. It is an hard work of some other individuals, our forefathers.
So much for Kwara State, and ultimately, we're counting down. 3rd of March, 2nd of March. There's going to be a contest, and that contest is going to be between the People's Democratic Party.
Somebody will win at the end of the day.
Majorly. There are other parties presenting candidates. Two major
parties. Are you foreseeing any upsets?
It's possible. You never know until the day of election.
All I just know is that parents has a role to play in this situation. Warn your children that the future of this country belongs to the electorate that makes sense. Exercise your franchise with common sense. Know that the future of this country belongs to you. And the power to effect change lies in the hands of the electorate. So you don't need to kill yourself for any one of them. Vote wisely and understand that sovereignty belongs to you.
And,
All right.
and politicians too should please spare the state. At the end of the day, the state belongs to everybody. Somebody will win at the end of the day. Power belongs to God, not to any of them.
Okay.
I agree with him.
All right. I'll take this break again. When we come back, we'll talk more. Rochas Okorocha declares for 2023 presidency. Stay with us. We'll be right back. The late American author and theologian James Freeman Clark that a politician thinks of the next election is a statement, thinks of the next generation. Then actions of politicians, especially in Nigeria, become understandable. Governor Rochas Anayo Okorocha of Imo State has declared to run for the presidency in 2023. Speaking with some journalists, Governor Okorocha said he's set to become the first elected president of Igbo descent in 2023 because he's the most eligible and detribalized political figure from the southeast.
So that's also connected.
Gentlemen, I want to talk about the complexity of 2023. Politicians, they think, we've not had 2019, though. Mm-hmm. You can
they
see
are thinking
that
beyond 2019.
the strategy. The secretary to the federal government, that Boss Mustafa, has always said it that the sharpest way, the fastest way, smartest way for Igbo presidency is to align with APC and support President Buhari. Professor Shibajo said it that in Oyo State, that for the Southwest to get back to the saddle is to vote for Buhari, that Southwest should rally Buhari, and Babatunde Fashola to also said it. Now, the chairman of Ohaneze Ndigbo, reacting to the vice president's speech, actually said it that, look, Alex Ikweme was meant to be the one in 1999, stepped down. They left Falaye and Olusegun Obasanjo, that they expect Nigerians, other parts of the country, to reciprocate that in 2023, it should be a contest between the Southeast and the Southeasterner.
I think the politicians are taking us for a ride. I listened to Boss Mustafa. I listened to the Vice President, and I listened to the Minister of Power, Housing and Roads and Housing, Works and Housing. And they are talking in different directions. The VP and the Minister of Works, and that's Raji Fashola, is speaking in one direction. Boss Mustafa is speaking in another direction. Now, Rochas is the chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum. All of them in the same party, saying different things. It tells a lot about the inner workings of the party itself.
As APC?
Yes. It tells a lot because it showed it, for me, viewing it from outside here, I see a party that is not, they're still basking in the euphoria of 2015. Because by now, they should know, even thinking beyond 2019, where the party should head, is headed. But right now, I am smelling confusion, and it shouldn't be. On Rochas, I think it's within his right to think like that. But as he said before, it's for the people to make their own decision too. Rochas.
Don't forget, it will be the political parties that will actually zone or micro-zone. It's not the people.
It's not, it's a political party that we zone. And at the end of the day, it's the people that will decide. We're talking about 2019. They are all doing their game now. Okay. But they can't vote for the people will decide. Okay. So no matter where the direction goes, it definitely, at the end of the day, a particular region in this country will bring the president and the vice. But for me, what we should be talking about now is 2019. We're not even there yet. We should be talking about 2019. And we've been talking about the present administration achievement so far, before we even talk about that, because we're talking about this is a campaign era. I don't know why Nigeria is, for me, it's a scattered situation.
Rocha's projecting.
Yes. So on Rocha's issue, I don't have issues with. I see Rocha's is somebody I so much admire. When he was, he's still a philanthropist. He's still in that area. But his foray into politics, demystified him. In my own view, I now see a new Rocha's, who has lost it politically, chasing like 100 balls at the same time. He's no longer focused like the Rochas I used to admire before. So that's what politics can do to Nigeria.
Let me allow Wale to have this. Wale, even my friend, my good friend, the APC spokesman in Lagos, had told me severally about his intention to also declare for the presidency.
Yeah, he has the right to do so, yeah.
Yes, so it's not only Rochas. Yeah. Joe is also in the race as far as 2023. So, but people are looking at, will it be fair? Let's talk about that these political parties should microzone it so that it will just put it to rest so that the southeastern people can have a sense of belonging.
I don't think it's even right to be discussing 2023.
But somebody has declared.
Right now. No, the fact that somebody has done something that is wrong does not mean, personally, I don't follow the bandwagon, I don't follow the crowd. The fact that somebody has declared does not mean that I should support the
Make it right.
It is not right. A lot of things are not wrong. Are not right about 2019. Even Rochas himself, that they're under the banner of which party?
Exactly.
He was talking about the APC right now. Is Rogers in tune with what is going on in
Action
APC?
Alliance? Is Action Alliance
your
APC?
brother, your son-in-law lost and you were trying to get another party and things like that. Is he in tandem with his
APC member?
Is he still an APC member? Those are the things you need to ask. So the thing for me
is contesting for Senate.
Under APC.
You don't. We have the same messy situation in Ogun State now.
Exactly.
You are supporting a different party. You are contesting under another party. It does not. I don't know. No, but the reality is that it is 2019 we should be talking about right now. Elsewhere, those who make such decisions, you understand, like he rightly pointed out, it's not the masses, just a few people who see themselves as nationalistic and patriotic enough, devoid of tribal leanings. They would sit down and say, oh, this is where this thing should go. Okay. And by and large, as long as they are in the ruling party, or the party they belong to is likely to win the next election.
But some people will still insist,
of course, some people will insist, but they will lose out at the end of the
justice.
At the end of the day. But let us face the issue of 2019
because
for
me, that's what's important.
We are not talking about issues.
It's 52 days to the election. And
for me, 2019 should dominate.
We're not talking about issues, and people are talking about 2023. It's sad. Very sad.
I want us to take a closer look at certain issues. I think we've had a fantastic vice presidential debate recently between Professor Yemi Osinbajo, then Peter Obi and all that. I want us to also understand that Rochas might not be speaking his mind alone. He's also part of the strategy. For somebody to have declared for 2023, it's not his intention alone. It's also in line with certain strategy that the ruling party must have also, buy into. Because let me give you an instance. His intention, and from the body language of what I'm saying, he doesn't want the people from the East to see themselves as second in command. They should see 2023 as their own chance.
Yes, that's coming from Rochas.
Coming from Rochas.
So that's what Rochas is trying to do.
That is what he's trying to plant.
I doubt.
That's what he's trying to, because for now, I think the People's Democratic Party too, a lot of people have seen the credentials of Peter Obi. I'm impressed too.
So I think we'll do a time and go and sit down.
I'm impressed too.
If you win.
I'm impressed by the credentials and all that. And he doesn't want a situation where the vice presidency is the option of the East.
Because
don't be surprised, a lot of people from the East has also endorsed Peter Obi.
That's 2019.
No, for 2019. Yeah. He doesn't, for 2023 that he is looking at, he's looking at the Easterners. Please, take a closer look at this political game very well.
As it suits him.
That 2023 is the most glaring chance that they have in the East. That is his own permutation.
Yes.
He's not thinking for himself alone. He's thinking that, okay, with this joker, the entire people in the East should understand that as it is now, Buhari is a moving train.
He should win the governorship for his in-law first before he can talk authoritatively on that.
Of our viewers, it's on record. Rochas contested. He contested
presidency
in 2003 APP. I'm just trying to. He contested. He contested in 2011. He contested in 2011. He contested in 2015.
It's a presidential material. It's a fact. I mean, for me, the moment he started, he showed interest in vying for the governorship of that state.
He said it's on a rescue mission.
It's on a but we know. That's why I said more like it has demystified him here. For me, aspiration. For me, for Rochas is somebody I respect. This is how I place him. But going for the governorship of that state and the controversy from day one till date has not helped him in any way. If I were him, I would have stayed aloof and wait for that presidency. Getting that presidency, I don't know how he's going to do it.
If you're not inside, you won't be relevant.
No, he wasn't relevant. When he contested then, he came from outside, and I know he gave the incumbent at that time.
Politician will not think like that.
He came into the campaign ground, when he came, everybody knew. I remember then, I think Tommy Kimi was the chairman of the, if you can recall clearly. So what I'm saying is this. Let us go into 2000. For me, go into 2019 and set sail. Because right now, I said it here, I think about some months ago, when I said, right now, everything is like stagnant. It's all about election. I was here. It's all that it's all about campaign. Now, well, that's what you're saying. Now, we're not even talking about 2019. We should be talking about campaign, achievement, issue-based campaign. What we intend to do.
What you should also know is that...
So please, let's get across 2000. Let's get to 2000. Then you can talk about... Politicians are taking Nigerians for a ride.
But the issue is that the tactics you think is not sellable to you as an individual now.
No, it's not.
As a politician.
It's sellable to but it's not sellable to the general interest of the people. That to me matters most.
We should not help them to drive that thing on.
Telling you,
we should help the people to drive the message of
Nigeria is where we're at.
Let's discuss issues. How far, so far? You are coming on board. What do you want to come and do? It's not this question of 2023. We should be discussing issues. So that's just it.
We should be discussing issues. We anchor there. Tony Waje, thank you so much. Afolabi Akinola, thank you so much. And Wale Adedayo, thanks so much. And that's it on Journalist Hangout. Join us tomorrow for another interesting episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11 and also watch Journalist Hangout on our platforms showing on the screen. We're also on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Our feedback channel is Journalist Hangout at tvcnews.tv. I'm Ayodele Uzubakon. Bye for now. It's a working day tomorrow. See you tomorrow.